it's sad the way some of the alternative media has gone. In fact, quite a significant part of it, particularly in the United States, because people use this term, alternative media, as if it's like one thing. It's not. It's a vast spectrum of perception and view that goes from almost indistinguishable from the mainstream, right across to, well, people like me who are challenging and questioning everything, including the official version of reality itself. And that's fine. People can work in their particular area of interest, but the common theme for me that makes it the alternative media, wherever it is in that spectrum, is that it is questioning, exposing, and challenging the official version of whatever the subject area it's operating in. And what I'm seeing since the emergence of Donald Trump is a regression from that in terms of significant parts of the alternative media, particularly in the United States. The alternative media's basic foundation in relation to politics has been that, in effect, it doesn't matter who you vote for because the same hidden hand gets in. So it doesn't matter if it's Republican or Democrat or Labour or Conservative in Britain. Basically, the same political class is in control, and thus nothing changes. It's actually deeper than that, the reason nothing changes, but that's fair enough at that level as well. Since the emergence of Donald Trump, suddenly much of that has changed. Suddenly Donald Trump, this vacuous, demagogic man who just comes out with stock phrases about everything without any substance, without any explanation of how these things are going to be brought about. This man who plays on people's fears, on people's prejudices, that somehow this man is going to take on what they call the globalists. And as a result of that, the narrative has changed in these parts of the alternative media from you can't trust any of them, it's all a rigged system, to actually it is rigged, but against Trump. It's not the person you should be looking at, it's the system. It's the system that says, in almost every country, not least America, that there are two parties, sometimes three, but usually two, that have any chance of forming a government. So you vote for Party A and they get into government and you don't like what they do. So to get Party A out, you vote for Party B and they get into government. Then you don't like what they do because they're just a continuation of what Party A did. But to get Party B out, you've got to go back and vote for Party A. But what has changed in this Trump era, from the moment he started to basically run for the Republican nomination, is that that's been forgotten and suddenly Trump is different. And he's actually in many ways dictated the way that these parts of the alternative media are reporting things. The idea that he is someone who is not part of the establishment. I mean, please, you become a billionaire in real estate and casinos and all these things without being part of the establishment. You depend on the banking system to do what you do, and you're not part of the establishment. You interact all your life with these pillars of this hidden hand in all its forms, and you're not part of the establishment. Well, the thing is, the number of people in full knowledge of what they're doing in terms of pushing the world into this global fascist dictatorship, as this global police state where the less than 1% dictate to everyone else and the police state hold that status quo, which is what I call the Hunger Games society. The people that are actually in knowledge and full knowledge of what they're doing is so small. They have to divide and conquer and play off against each other the target population. I mean, one way of doing that, for instance, is to put some of the target population in uniform to keep the rest of the target population in place, dictated by the laws of the less than 1% ultimately. But when you look around society, you see all these fault lines that are there waiting to be exploited. As you say, religion is a classic, playing religions off against each other. And the alternative media, in its most effective way and expression, should be realizing that anything that divides is serving that which they say they're challenging. It's fundamental to how we get out of this mess, not by finding solutions to the problems, but by removing the cause of the problem. You know, if the cause of the problem is divide and rule, then removing the cause is to come together and to see each other in a different light. Now, one of the things that where I'm coming from is that we need to reevaluate our self-identity from our name, our race, our religion, our income bracket, our life story, which I call phantom self, to the realization, which this system has sought to keep from us, that we in our prime eternal form are simply awareness, a state of being aware. All these forms and bodies are just vehicles for this awareness to experience itself. Thus, in our prime form, we are all the same awareness, having different experiences. I put it like this: we are different points of attention within an infinite awareness. And that point of attention can be the size of a pea, or it can be massively expanded. And the difference in the way those 2 points of attention see the world and see world events and see each other is colossal in the way that the difference is in perception. Now, what this system is seeking to do, because in the shadows, deep in the shadows, they know that this is how it is. They're seeking to focus and hijack human attention absolutely in the five senses. So the only sense of awareness, the only sense of perception, the only sense of anything is the world of the five senses. And in the world of the five senses, they are their name, they are their income bracket, they are their race, they are their religion, and everything is apart from everything else. Thus, at the point of attention of I am five sense me alone, the potential for divide and rule is absolutely limitless. And that's why they want us in that state of attention, that state of self-identity. Once you reevaluate our self-identity from I am David Icke, and who does this, that, and the other, to I am infinite awareness, having an experience called David Icke, and all the labels that people give themselves, they're all experiences, they're not who we are. Then you start to realize that whether you're black or whether you're white, whether you're following this religion or that religion, is irrelevant to the fact that we're all, in the end, one consciousness. And therefore, these positions of division are simply states of perception. They're not real, they're states of perception.